Hello and welcome to The Girls. We're here at our Laura Mall location and we are talking about relationships today. It's going to be fun. Yeah. That's why we need the wine. I know you agree with me. If you're married or single or dating or, you know, just in a online relationship, you need some alcohol to go along with talking about it.
No excuse needed.
We have a returning guest. I wasn't here when she was on first, right? Who do we have with us today?
We have Jeannine Lesante with us today, and we're going to be talking about healthy relationships and what it takes and the rights that we have to have those relationships, because every relationship, when you're starting out, it's important to set that foundation so you can have a successful, strong relationship.
Yeah, there's all kind of relationships, like the kind of relationship I have with you. The kind of relationship I have with you is my daughter-in-law, and we know each other a long, long time.
A very long time, 27 years to be exact.
27 years. Yes. Don't give away my age.
You just celebrated your anniversary.
Yeah. We did, yes. 17 years married, 27 years together. Yeah. Yep.
You met what grade? 9th? 10th.
I was a senior in high school when we met.
I always think it's younger, but.
Yeah, don't you remember going to Confetti's?
Oh my goodness, Confetti's was our dance
club. The dance club that we had.
Yep, it was an interesting meeting. Yes, a friend of mine actually showed Sam my photo, my senior photo. Aww. And then he called me.
Nice.
And it's been true love ever since.
Aww, and hear the chirp of birds behind her. And speaking of birds.
Good segue. What about the birds?
So, I hang these ferns in front of my house.
You hung them or your designer
My designer hung them, but someone did.
Okay.
They're hung. The point is there's ferns in front of my home. And you come over and you walk the dog every morning. So you come over to the property because my mom lives next door to me. And the one day, did you notice the bird or did I? There was a dead baby bird.
Yeah, you told me about it, so I came over to check it out because you were scared.
I made her go and take the bird and put it in.
I had to bury the bird.
So a few days or weeks later, Mason comes in the house and he says, "Mom, there's a baby bird dead on the sidewalk."
Again.
I'm like, where are they dropping from the sky? Is God telling me something? Why are all these baby birds dead? It literally looked like the mama bird came over the sky, dropped the egg cracked, and the bird died.
That was sad.
So I'm thinking, where are these birds? Let's go back to the ferns. So every morning I would open the door to unlock it, you know, so that the kids could come home and the door would be unlocked. And there would be a bird flying in and out of the fern. I'm thinking,
that's it.
Now I water these ferns every day. I'm surprised.
You were drowning them. Maybe you killed them and she kicked them out.
So and I'll show you the video I posted because it was so cute. So I get on the chair that I have outside and I look in the ferns and there's all these little baby birds in a group. They literally just hatched.
Did you take a picture?
I took a video. I posted it on my Facebook page.
We'll show that.
So it was so cute. So I'm thinking from all the wind and rain that the ferns were going back and forth and just the eggs were falling out. So that's my baby bird story. So
you have to stabilize that house.
2 did not make it. 3 are still alive. And I didn't drown any of them either.
She had the quintuplets.
How about it? There might be more than 3 in there, but they were all bundled in that little thing. It was so cute. So I was thinking of taking the fern down at night.
I would leave it.
Leave it go. The mother will attack you.
We had one, and I did that. I took it down because we were getting a storm, and there was only 1 egg. The egg never hatched, and Mama never came back.
Yeah.
So leave it alone.
See, I peeked in there and took some video and
just don't touch it.
Had a conversation with them.
Didn't the mother come and attack you?
Relationships. Well, when she comes out, she kind of comes at me first and then goes out. Exactly. So I'm thinking, maybe there's a bird's nest. But I water these ferns every day and just because they're up high.
Yeah. So you're not.
I'm surprised I didn't drown the birds. For heaven's sakes.
Well, I think she would have attacked you if you were, a threat.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the birds, and we'll inform you of their updates on our Facebook.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Follow the birds.
Follow the birds. Tweet.
With all that being said, I think we're going to take a break. grab your wine, whatever your choice beverage is, and come right back because we're going to have our special guest with us today. We'll see you in a minute.
Welcome back to The Girls. We're here today with Dr. Christine Kiesinger. Christine was with us about 18 months ago, and Christine has devoted her life really to working with women and the well-being for women, right? Yes. So last time you were here, we talked just briefly about relationship rights, and I know that has generated so much interest that you're still receiving phone calls about it. So can you tell us a little bit about what are relationship rights?
So yes, I was here 18 months ago, and the topic was the art of exceptional self-care. And one of the things we talked about is taking care of yourself inside of your relationships. 18 months later, I'm still receiving emails and calls of people wanting the relationship rights. Most recently was from a woman, 76 years of age, who called me and said, I just saw the show. Can I please have a copy of the relationship rights? And I could hear that she was very emotional, and she said, I've never protected or honored my relationship rights, and I need to start doing that. And I've shared this content with girls, teens, women of all ages, and this gets the most response.
Well, how many of us get up every day and think, I have relationship rights?
We don't.
Or I have a right for my life. We just get up and sort of like go through the day according to whatever is thrown in front of our face.
Yeah.
Some of us might have a schedule, yes, but still, even your schedule is basically whatever comes at you. How defensive should we be? Like, how do we start that? Where do we, at what age do we start it, and how do we start it?
I want you to imagine, as I talk about the relationship rights, what it would mean and how it would feel if we started life with these as girls, as young girls, right? And I want to start by saying that fundamentally, there are these fundamental rights we have, and then the relational rights stem from our fundamental rights. So just listen to these fundamental rights. There's 5, right? You have the right for dignity and respect at all times, in any relationship, but as a human being, at any time, in any place, and at any phase of life. My newborn niece has the right to be treated with dignity and respect. My 98-year-old grandmother, who may have Alzheimer's and is in a nursing home and doesn't know who we are, has the right to be treated with dignity and respect, right? And we don't have to earn that. And I think the problem with relationship rights is that many women think, well, I have to earn your respect. I have to earn the privilege of being treated in a dignified way by you.
Does that come from how we were raised with our mothers, or how we were in our families, or what? Because I myself am guilty of that. We always sort of rewarded ourselves at the end of the day after we did a good job. So is that what we're
Absolutely.
raised like that?
Part of it is how we are raised and how we are socialized. Part of it is we don't ever really receive an education in how to come into a relationship. So one of the things you said at the opening was there are certain foundational things that need to be in place for a relationship to thrive. Most of us land in our relationships and as if they fell down from the sky. And we didn't take the time to create the foundation, right? Like you would build a house, wouldn't you consult with an architect? Sure. Wouldn't you make sure that the ground was stable enough to support it? Wouldn't you make sure that the material you're using for the pillars is actually going to keep it up? But we don't ask this of our relationships. So at the very level, basic level, the right for dignity and respect, you have the right to be at peace. You have the right to choose your own life. As often as possible, I try to share this story. It's based on a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. There was a woman in the United Kingdom who was a hospice nurse, and she started to study the people that she was with at the end of their lives. And she asked them, what is your top regret? She talked to all of these people who were able to reflect. They were conscious and able to reflect. And over the course of the study, there were these 5 things that emerged over and over again. The number 1 top regret of the dying is that I didn't live the life I wanted to live. I lived a life that was chosen for me, or I lived a life that I thought I should live. And that's what I mean about your fundamental right to choose. I have the right to choose my life. I have the right to my own personal freedom. I have the right to have the voice I have. I have the right to be who I am. You know, when we think about the kind of suffering that occurs within the life and the heart of a person who doesn't feel like they can step up and be who they are without fear of punishment or being abandoned somehow or having everyone disappointed. So there are a lot of relational issues and issues just related to who we are as human beings that arise when our rights are not protected. And I think that the number one right that people tend to really resonate with, because they know that it's not being protected, is that I have the right to be happy. I have the right to be happy, and I don't have to earn that.
Sometimes
I was born with that, right?
Sometimes people have a hard time knowing what happy is, because if they get up and they're in a routine and it's the norm, it just seems that it's acceptable. And it's so hard to break from that. So how do you break from that? You're saying, okay, you have the right to do it, but how, after so many years of doing something, how do you make the change?
Sometimes it's just hearing something like this, and it sort of causes you to wake up to, wow, at the moment of my birth, because I was born, I have these rights. And nobody told me, or I didn't remember, or I wasn't surrounded, especially by women, grandmothers, mothers, aunts, and then women that I came into friendship with, men that I came into relationship with, that treated me with this understanding that we have these rights. And a lot of it comes back to being a boundaried person, right? And one of my favorite writers, Brene Brown, says, you don't need another class on boundaries. You don't need to read another book. You don't need to listen to another podcast on what a boundary is. And she's really speaking to women. A boundary is simple. A boundary is what is okay and what is not okay. And my ability to tell other people in my life, that's not okay. And to feel that I have the freedom and the right to speak those words. Just imagine if every time, you know, you felt that anxiety that comes up when you know, wow, you just crossed a line with me, and I stayed silent.
All right, well, I'm going to stop you right there because it's going to be an interesting thing to discuss. Stay right with us. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. You're watching The Girls here on SSP TV. Do you know your relationship rights? Do you know what relationship rights are? We're talking about that today on The Girls with a returning guest. We have Dr. Christine Kiesinger with us, and I had the honor of being here today. I wasn't here for the first taping of the show, so I'm really just absorbing everything you're saying about these relationship rights and, you know, how it affects our relationships, not only boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but for our children. My daughter has a boyfriend, and she's going to be 16 years old. My son is just turned 14, so I'm absorbing everything that you're saying, and you want to be parenting correctly, and I think social media has a lot to do as like a thing that we didn't deal with growing up, and it really adds to these relationship rights, and it could be very confusing dating now for these kids, for anybody, but it just adds one more layer of things that they have to deal with. So I know we're not talking about all of them, but we are hitting on the ones that really hit home today.
Right, and one of the things I want to comment on is that it's important for us to know what our rights are, and it's also important for us to know that these rights exist so that we don't violate them in others. Mm-hmm. So for example, we want your daughter to know, hey, I have these rights if she's in her first dating relationship, but we also want whoever she's dating to know, hey, these rights exist and I need to honor them. And even as you're listening to the rights, we have to take self-inventory and say, in what relationships have I violated these? Have I done damage because I did not protect these in the people that I love and care about?
So I think that respect word that you touched on is a word I think that we're losing. Isn't that being lost somewhere along the line? It's like anything goes.
Or is it that you're comfortable? Because after a while, I mean, you're with Sam 27 years. Is it that you get comfortable and then you have to reel it back? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, we need to respect each other where you are more speaking up. My mom always says, speak up. Yeah. If something bothers you, it's, you know, an age, I feel a generation where a lot more people are posting it instead of saying it. We need to say it to each other instead of posting it. And that the texting gets in the way, the posting gets in the way of the communication that should be spoken face to face.
All of the relationship rights are completely violated in most of social media. All you have to do is look at Facebook posts or see people going back and forth with one another, and you will see that a lot of these fundamental rights are just being crossed in ways that are truly damaging. And,
okay, so we have respect.
So let's see.
Let's write these down.
Okay, just take some of these in.
Okay.
I have the right to say no and not feel guilty. I have the right to say no as a complete sentence. No, I can say it kindly, as a complete sentence, no, period, and I do not have to add on reasons why. Women in particular, this is a gendered thing, tend to tag along their no, all the reasons why.
I'm guilty for that.
Yeah.
I always feel when I say no, I have to explain why I said no, because I don't want to upset you by telling you no, and I don't want to feel the guilt that, oh, I should have done that, but I said no.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and don't women wait for the why?
Many
you say no to a woman, they're waiting, well, why?
Right.
You know, they're waiting for that.
So we need to not wait for that. If someone in our life tells us no, we respect it. It's no as a complete sentence, and then get very comfortable saying no as a complete sentence. It's difficult for me, but I know that I have that right. I have the right to feel safe. This is a fundamental right. I have the right to feel physically and emotionally safe in my relationships. The physical piece makes a lot of sense to us, but then we have to think about the emotional piece. If I'm in my relationship and if I don't feel comfortable voicing a boundary, voicing something that I feel uncomfortable with, then I'm not protecting my own emotional safety, or there's an issue of emotional safety in the relationship. And we see that a lot, but it's something that's kind of unspoken.
Now, before you go on, you're not just speaking about women and girls here. This is for boys, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, because
absolutely.
I've seen men abused, and I've seen young boys verbally abused and raised in a way improper way. And so, please, just because we're women sitting here at the table and we're girls and we're talking about our daughters and girls, this is for every human being.
That's right. And if these rights were, if I was building the foundation of a new relationship and I said, these are the rights that are going to be fundamentally part of our foundation, we would talk through these. And then they become part of your common vocabulary in the relationship. Right. You know, like I don't feel safe right now emotionally. Let's talk about that. So if this becomes part of how you talk to each other, things are really going to shift. Do you want to hear some more?
Yes.
Okay.
We have about 2 more minutes, so let's
I have the right to leave any conversation with anyone who makes me feel diminished, humiliated, harmed. The way to think about diminishment is if someone has ever spoken to you and you can feel yourself shrinking, that's diminished. You have the right to leave, to shut a conversation down if you are made to feel that way. I have the right to end a relationship. And I have the right to end a relationship without explanation, if necessary. Think about the people that you know that have stayed in a relationship far too long because they either are afraid to leave it or they just don't feel that they have the right to leave. This is a big one. I have the right not to be responsible for other people's behavior, actions, feelings, or problems. Women classically feel responsible for the actions of others, the feelings of others, the problems of others. You know, I need to know what belongs to me and what belongs to you.
And we have more of Dr. Christine to discuss on part 2 of The Girls. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, because you look forward to next week when we have part 2. If you have any questions, where can they reach you, Dr. Christine?
They can reach me at Christine@cekcommunication.com. And if there's show notes, I want to include the rights and my contact information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.